guys, welcome back to Cara Plans, where I am budgeting and planning my way through a debt-free journey. Today we are going to be closing out the November budget, and I did this really cool split screen with my budget by Paycheck notebook so I could actually look at 2 pages at once. And then I've got my Where Did My Money Go page up, and I'm just going through and totaling up all the food expenses to put on the first line here. I really like the split screen version, and I like how you can have the calculator on top so you guys can see what I'm doing as well. So it's like 3 screens in one on this iPad. So it is really awesome. And I just have to keep moving the calculator over and forth just a little bit, which is a little annoying, but still really nice to have it on the screen. So right now I'm just going through my other categories, and this one is fuel. We're totaling that one up. You can see on my grocery budget, I was actually under budget by $87.19, which is totally awesome because there were 5 weeks budgeted in November. So I budget like $100 per week because normally it's $200 every paycheck. So I was able to stay under my food budget really well this month, which I'm pretty excited about. And fuel was about normal. Not much changes there. I go to work and back and to the store every once in a while. Household budget, I was only over by, let's see, drum roll, please. I was only over by $26.23. You guys know that I struggle with my household budget all the time. Even with the overages and the weekly check-in, I was still over what I budgeted only by $26, which really isn't bad because I usually end up going like $100 over. So that was a win. Next, we're just adding up the utilities, which I had budgeted $563.22 and I came out $610.21. There has to be another bill in there that I wasn't considering. I know that I did add on some insurance, which was about $11. So there's something else in there that caused that one to go over a little bit by $46.99. And then, sorry, I was scrolling through the screen so fast. If you get motion sickness, I do apologize. All right, and then our next category, allowance is always $40, so that one stayed the same. Beauty, I did go over a little bit on this one, $195.52 over by $30. An extra nail fill, I think, is what went that over on that one. And then I had another beauty expense that I spent some money on, like hair products or mascara. It was mascara. And then sinking funds are always $672. My planner, Black Friday got me, guys. I was over by $127.45 on planner stickers. However, I think I'm pretty set for all of 2021. So I'm going to try my best not to buy any planner stickers for 2021. I might do a couple monthly kits and weekly kits here and there, but I am moving into the Live Rich planner. So I'm going to try to work with what I have and what I just stocked up on. My debt payment was larger than normal by $883. Again, that's a category I love to go over. I love to be able to put more towards debt than normal. I had figured that I was going to put $1,400 towards debt, and I was able to put $2,200 towards debt. My fund money, I spent $45.30 of that, so there was a little left over there. And then just going through and double checking the $72.69. And this is, I lost track of what category I was on. Oh, I'm totaling up income. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going through and totaling up income. I'm not counting when I reimbursed my cash envelope spending, which makes this tricky because I have to remember which one's coming from sinking funds. That counts as income, but the cash envelope deposits don't count as an income. So once I total all this up, this is my expenditures for the month. And then I will figure it to my carryover total. So my total expenditures for the month were $5,196.64. And I just moved that $537.49 over because I forgot to add in what I carried over from October. So my total income for the month was the $6,580.49. And then if we take away the $5,196.64 that I spent, I'll be carrying over about $1383.85 into December, which is the biggest amount that I've really carried over month to month. Now we're still in the middle of a paycheck period this time, so I have a bunch of big bills coming out the 1st of December. My mortgage will be coming out, so that's $513 of that. Plus there's some other bigger bills that come out. So that's the reason there's more carryover this month than there usually is. It just happens to be where the paychecks and the bills fall for the carryover. And then I'm just calculating my percentages here. So what I do to get this percentage is I take the monthly spent divided by the total income to get the percentage of my income that was spent on that category. And in an ideal world, once you do this, all of that should add up to 100% because every dollar is accounted for. Now, usually, like you can see, I did a 3.5% and a 0.5% in there. Sometimes with rounding, it doesn't work out perfectly. This month, it just happened to work out perfectly that I got to 100%. So usually if I get anywhere from like 97% up, I'm happy with that. Then a couple of the ones that I wanted to point out, I'm going to just use the highlighter. Household did go over a little bit. Debt went over a little bit. That's fine. And planner supplies for the Black Friday. So those are the ones that I wanted to highlight to kind of pay attention to. The next thing we're going to do is do the monthly spending comparison between November and October. So as you can see, I've already pre-filled my October numbers on there, and we'll take a closer look at those once I get November in and we can compare. So I'm just carrying over the monthly spent and the percentage from this other page. And this is where this split screen really comes in handy too, because if I was working on the paper version, I'd be flipping the page back and forth. And it's nice that I can just split the screen and see both pages at once here. And if you look at the percentages of the budget that I spent on these categories, they're really not bad. So household was 10%, food was only 6% of my whole budget. Bills, utilities, like that's all my bills, sewage, electricity, that was about 9-10% as well, which is a reasonable amount. My sinking funds were 10%, so that's kind of like savings right now. That's just kind of planning ahead. Debt this is really exciting. 34% of my income went to debt. And I've been doing some calculations, and I'm pretty sure that I might be completely debt-free before the end of 2021. I was figuring I would be completely debt-free in April of 2022 when my van payment was completed, but I think I'm going to be totally, completely debt-free a lot sooner than that. So let me scroll back here, and then you can compare, like while I'm writing these numbers up at the top, the 7, 6, 2, 2, 10, 10, 5, 9, 4.5, 3, 12, 10. So all of my percentages in my categories are pretty much the same. And the reason I'm looking at percentages here rather than amounts spent is because you can see my monthly income change in October. I had $7,200 incoming income. This month I only had $6,500. So I was working with $626 less, but you can still see that most of my percentages are pretty on par with where they were in October. And then I did the change in the bottom or the right-hand column over here in dollar amounts rather than the percentages. And I should actually go back and look at the instructions. Ignore this. I was having massive problems opening the calculator. I should go back and look to see whether I was supposed to do dollar difference or percentage difference in Miko's instructions. But I felt for me, it was more helpful to see the actual dollar amounts, because a lot of these categories, I really want to spend the same amount every month. And that's what helps me plan an amount for the next month. So with my food budget, I was able to save. Even though there was an extra week in November, I spent a lot less. Fuel was about the same, and pretty much the change in my fuel, you can account for fluctuating gas prices, $1.34 to $1.20. So really not a lot of change there. And I always budget, I think, $1.75 for fuel. So that's never a problem. Household, I was under what I had spent last month by $113, which was awesome that I cut out those household expenses. Now, utilities are double. That is because I moved some expenses up here that weren't there before, and I added more insurance. And then beauty was less. Now, if you remember in October, I spent $320 in beauty. A lot of that was for a new good quality hair dryer. I have been buying cheap hair dryers my whole life, and I have to replace them like every single year. They just fizzle out on me. So this year I went ahead and bought a more expensive one, and we're going to see if that one lasts longer and is worth the extra price. Sinking funds, I did reduce my sinking funds. Some of my sinking funds for 2021 are already fully funded. So for November, I just cut those ones out, and I don't have to touch those ones anymore until I start saving again for the next year for those holidays or whatever. Planner supplies, I spent more. Again, that was all Black Friday shopping. And then debt, I didn't put quite as much to debt, but I had less incoming income this month. So that's where the extra income always goes, is to debt. Less on fun. October, we went to Monster Trucks. This month, we didn't go to Monster Trucks. So that's where the extra fun money went in October. And it's just helpful to be able to know where my money went, and I can explain the differences. I think that's one of the most important tools. Like, the numbers don't always matter so much, but if you know where your money went and you know if you planned for it, that's what really budgeting is all about. So overall, this month I had less spending than in October, which is a good thing. And I was able to carry over a good amount of money. So that is my November budget closeout. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.